Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. Robert F. Kennedy has officially announced he is running as an independent candidate in the 2024 election. This is actually big news because this could drastically affect the results of said election. Robert Kennedy, up till this point, was running as a Democrat, and him and his whole family have had a history of being Democrats, going back to his great-grandparents. He's fought for Democratic issues most of his life. But he's made this statement saying that it's hard for him to identify with the Democratic Party as it is nowadays. It's not the same as his parents. It's not the same as his grandparents. Definitely not the same as his great-grandparents. It's changed over time. It's become something that doesn't represent the American people anymore. It doesn't represent any amount of moderation. Neither side does. And what he's looking to do is run as an independent who can actually bring both sides together, look at issues from both sides, change his opinion if necessary, and build a coalition of people who want to tackle the issues America faces, not from a party perspective, but from a policy perspective, which I think is good. I think it's interesting. I don't think he has much of a chance of winning, naturally, as most independent candidates don't. But I respect him for being able to unalign himself with the Democratic Party and saying that they're shutting me down for my opinions, my views. I still have a lot of traditionally liberal views, but I can't work with the Democrats. I can't be a Democrat. It's not going to work for how I want to run and be elected. It's not going to work for how I want to run the country. So I can respect him for taking a position that is going to be a harder road, a tougher challenge to climb. Plus, also, there's the fact that he probably had zero chance of beating Biden, if not due to purely poll numbers, also due to interference, same kind of interference we saw in 2016 with Hillary and Bernie, where they stole the nomination from Bernie and gave it to Hillary. That sort of thing would absolutely happen. They definitely don't want Kennedy. They'd rather have Biden on the Democratic side. But so what does this mean? What's the impact going to be on the election? Well, he's going to take votes. But who's he going to take votes from? And is he going to Ross Perot Biden or Trump? Who knows? That's yet to be seen because, like I said, he does have some independent policies from both sides. And so it's going to be tricky to know which side is going to favor him more. It's looking like it's going to be Trump versus Biden in the general. And you still have that branch of never Trumpers who might vote for Kennedy. Because, look, he does have some traditionally conservative policies. I mean, he just changed his mind recently on the border. After visiting the border, prior to visiting, he was very staunchly no need for a wall, no need for a hard border. It's not that big of an issue. Then he went and visited and is like, oh, this is a big issue. It's a huge issue, and we need to close our borders and defend them. And so he can change his opinion. That's something great for a politician. Something we almost never, ever see is a politician changing their mind and actually sticking to it once they do, and doing so contrary to their party. It's very respectable. And so conservatives might vote for him. Those never Trumpers may. I predict he might get 5% of the Republican vote. Where on the Democratic side, I think he's looking more at, maybe 10 to 20%. People are just unhappy with Biden. He's got a large support base from the Democrats already. When you look at his polling, it's more Democrats than Republicans favor Kennedy. And we still have a year to go. We still have a year for Biden to slip mentally, physically, to make even more drastic mistakes than he's done already. Things like East Palestine, with Maui, now his handling of all these foreign incidents that are happening around the world, his handling of the border. I mean, things could get much worse for the Biden administration, and that would just be a boost to Kennedy. Because again, he's still traditionally a Democrat, so more people see him as an option if you're a Democrat than Republicans would see him as an option. So I think 5% from the Republicans and maybe looking at like 10, 15%, possibly 20 from the Democrats. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll see how these new poll numbers come out after his announcement, but it's certainly going to shake things up. And I like Robert Kennedy as a candidate overall. I think he's got some good ideas. I think he addresses issues that other people don't. I don't want him to be president. He's not my first pick. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in a cabinet position having to deal with some of these major issues like microplastics, SSRIs, things that he's been dealing with his whole life and fighting legally to protect American citizens from these disastrous policies that have been put in place. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a position like that in either cabinet. But for now, he's still running for president, and we'll just have to see how that goes. And now that you've heard what I think, please let me know what you think down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.